Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Dire Bear Adventuring Company. I am your GM, the Void, a.k.a. Heath, a.k.a. the Dire Bear GM. I've just got too many names. So call me Heath. That's what matters. Tonight with me, as always, I have Atlas, who is playing Tane. We have Maddie playing Dr. Kalinar Morrison. We have with us Jason, who is playing Skippy, the Ensign. And we have with us V, who is playing Quentin, our Navigator. I do believe our captain should be joining us here shortly. And we are up in the air right now concerning a certain other individual, but we'll see what unfolds there.
We need science.
Do we have cams on Jason and V?
I have cams on
you, and you've got everybody but me.
Can I get you guys to reconnect for me, please? Because I just reconnected twice, and I'm just getting placeholder images.
Do you bring enough for the whole party?
Yeah, it's in my fridge.
Share.
Haha.
Just gonna need you guys to fly to Toronto.
Easy peasy.
But
lemon
Heath
squeezy.
Not in the cards right now. I see everybody's lovely face.
Hello.
V with her with their amazing hair. Excuse me.
Alone in the technical difficulty.
Alone in the technical. That's really what the void is. It's the void of technical functions.
The only problem is I can't close my Roll20, or I'm gonna have to start the stream over.
Oh,
That's not ideal.
no good.
You can't refresh either.
Instead of reconnecting, try refresh. Alt F5 or F5, not Alt F5.
Or the little button
Or the little circular chasing itself thing.
right next to the URL bar.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Do you like pina coladas?
I still got nothing.
Getting caught in the rain.
Still got nothing on the other two.
All right. I say we. Do you want to bring it down for a moment? Refresh and see if they come up.
Well, I just refreshed my browser and I'm still getting nothing. Did you guys reconnect?
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I've seen Jason reconnect a few times.
Okay. Bear with us, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we were professional.
On occasion. Buckets up.
Alright, I'm gonna do the whole lemon rant, and if it's not fixed by the time that's over, I don't know what will fix it. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons. I'm gonna get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that'll burn your house down. Did that fix it?
No, but I'm more impressed that you had that entire fucking thing memorized.
I've had it memorized since 6th grade.
Kidding me? I'm not impressed at all. That's on par.
That's absolutely.
That's
play
just,
those games
that's,
again.
yeah, that's just Atlas.
I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed you didn't go with the power thirst method, which is when life, when life hands you lemons, find yourself a new god.
When God gives you lemons, find a new god. Power thirst now in Godberry.
So I have reloaded the page, I have refreshed the page, I've reconnected I don't know how many times, still not getting video on Jason and V.
All right.
Disassemble your computer, reassemble your computer, reboot it. We'll try again.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Sounds like a sound idea to me.
Have you tried percussive maintenance? It just.
I just had a computer with a busted front plastic piece for the next couple of years.
There you go.
but everything worked
Gives it
because it
character.
learned.
It learned.
Figured I wound up having a hot
There
wire.
you go.
All right.
There's that, and you had to touch them together to make the thing boot up.
You ever think about how, like, in a few years we're gonna have like pamphlets on like AI abuse the same way where it's like, hey, don't hit your kids if you want them to learn things. We're gonna have to be like, hey, don't hit AIs if you want them to learn things. Like,
More
that's
like-
AI abuse.
AI abuse. Don't teach your AI to be racist. And every word, every swear word that you can find.
Just don't let your AI on Reddit if you can avoid it.
Don't let your AI on Tumblr if you can.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah, just maybe don't let it on the internet at all. Like, give
Yeah,
it
just keep
parental
your AI away
guidelines
from the
until
internet.
your AI is like 13 to 14 years old and has developed a
Let it
good
read
basis
nothing
of-
but Wikipedia. Never follow the sources and watches its information and opinions change every other week.
Yeah, I mean they gave IBM's Watson access to Urban Dictionary and immediately had to revoke it because he learned how to swear. Like, I'll have to
Yeah.
find an article, but yeah, like they
Okay,
literally
I've got
were
V
like,
now.
Excellent.
I've got Skippy now, actually.
Got
I
everybody but
have
Maddie.
I have a black screen
I
on
was gonna say you're a black
V.
screen for me.
Can you please both? Okay, I've got V now. Can you hit reconnect, please, Jason?
Oh, you're up for me now.
We don't want to get started without all their beautiful faces being there.
No point in my wearing my hat if nobody can see it.
You can't see the
Exactly.
hat. Why wear the hat at all?
I mean, the answer is
Box for
because
V. Still don't have Maddie.
You know what, let's give it some time because it eventually kicked in for actually, can you guys both hit reset player video / avatar location? Because I did that and V popped up.
Is that it?
It is under the settings. And it is right where it says under chat avatars is the heading. You'll see movable player avatars, reset player video avatar location. You see it?
Oh, page unresponsive. Hello.
I'm clicking it, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything because we haven't moved anybody's stuff. But when I did it, V's cam popped up. So
So
it's not doing anything. So let's just give it some time and we'll see what happens.
All right. In the meantime, alien race was met. Closest approximation of a name that we could pronounce in our language ended up being a very suburbanite, Matthew and Kaylee. The party stayed the evening with the race, which they learned speaks through mostly through complete telepathic connection. They partook of some of the local culinary favorites,
Yum.
small furry creatures that they had seen. They stayed the night, sleeping in the basin-like beds that were set for them. In the middle of the night, they heard strange noises, a hunting party or some other creatures out. Skippy awoke early, his internal clock telling him he'd been asleep for some time. Realizing that he'd been asleep for 12 hours or more. And that's when they made the realization that time moves quite a bit slower here. As the revolution of the planet, the rotation of the planet on its axis, takes a lot longer than Earth or even the planet that they just came from. Not realizing that they had been this way for, I think we estimated 3 days now, or 4 days.
Something like that.
That they had been on the planet, plus 2 days of travel, so it'd been nearly a week.
Whoops.
Meanwhile, back at the colony, Nara was dealing with local government issues an outbreak of some weird viral infection that they found was coming from something in the dirt. Precautions were made. A cure and an inoculation were both made. Cure from a limited amount of resources, so they applied those, and the rest of them they tried to give them the best care they could, inoculating the remainder of the folks that they can after a synthetic was created, using Nara's own blood. Dealing with issues of the storms that rolled through, destroying parts of their meager resources, a new issue arose as pinkish crystals fell from the sky, jagged shards of ice that landed, shredding pieces of the metal buildings, causing injury to some of the people. The hailstone, or the hail shards, evaporated nearly, not instantaneous, but very quickly. They were able to preserve a few of them before they got escaped through melting or dissolving. Who knows what new dangers are going to face our intrepid doctor or our party on a distant planet with strange creatures abound. And that's where we'll start tonight's episode of Dr. Nora. Colonist Doctor. No. Alone in the Void.
There you go.
It is, by your estimation, still dark outside, Skippy. You've awoken the remainder of the party. You've kind of let them all know, hey, this is what's going on. What are you going to do from here, though?
Estimate of how long the night would be, Henny.
If you recall from last week, Tridemus had told you that it's about 2 days, 2 Earth, roughly slightly more than 2 Earth days for each cycle.
A day here is like 4 days for us.
Yeah, a full rotation would be close to 4 days. Mm-hmm. Actually, a little bit more than 4 days, just a hair more.
This species sleeps through the night. Time for us to be sitting around.
Yeah, you're not
The
sure.
rest of y'all we do.
All right.
Keep that long without any trouble, I'm sure, but the rest of us, I don't know.
The medical unit that you brought with you.
The red shirt.
Yep, he seems worried as he is standing over a body that does not seem to be moving.
Oh boy.
Quick head count, find out which body it is.
It's your science officer.
Oh shit.
A quick assessment of it tells you, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's not dead. He's breathing. What's that?
I said, he said that like that was the problem.
He's breathing. I don't know what's wrong with him. Looking at the body, you can see that there are small red welts that appear. They're not raised. It's more like just slightly, and you can see them on his face and neck, like they started from here and have come up.
Oh boy.
Exposed to the
great.
air. That was me and V.
You're not sure what it is.
Please tell me it wasn't the food.
You're not sure.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Everybody would be fucked except for Skippy. I think Skippy's the only one
Oh,
that didn't
boy.
eat the food.
That's how it always is. There's the one, and they're the only one
Be
who
some sort of
survived
allergic reaction to the food, since nobody else that ate has gotten sick.
so far.
You don't have the necessary equipment to really tell. And you can watch, though, as visibly his hair inside the suit is clinging to his forehead.
He's a sweaty bitch.
To some degree, we've been locked in these suits for 4 days now.
Yeah, maybe we should get him back to the ship and out of the suit.
Yeah.
Just
Captain,
Better equipment on the ship.
not really. I mean, the best equipment that you have, I mean, there's some stuff that'll let you kind of like do a rudimentary scan. But
Is there any sort of maybe one of the cryopods or something?
not on the ship that you've pieced together. All of that back on the other planet.
They were using it to store all the crystals, remember? Just shoving it in the cryopod.
Oh yeah.
You
Maybe
get
we
back,
should
it looks
make
like somebody's weird beer cooler. It's just full of cryo, like the cryo bed is full of these crystals and like cans of natty ice. It's the only thing that would taste the same after 800 years. It's crappy. Neither side.
I imagine there has to be someone who came up with the idea of like keeping like wine casks in the the cargo hold of the Praetor and just
They're
like
all
having
making
it
prison.
age.
They're all making prison food.
Man. Woo!
They've got garbage bags full of like fermenting fruit.
Oh damn! Imagine that after 800 goddamn years.
It's aged like a horrible turpentine.
But you can put it on a salad.
All right. You gonna try to run him back to the ship.
I guess it's our only decision.
Go back to the ship, and do we want to leave anybody here to keep poking around? Once our hosts wake up.
I mean, not alone.
Should we leave the Tridemus here, like to relay the message, just in case we're gone long enough? Like,
Artemis is the only
You're
one
looking
that
for a reason to abandon that robot.
I mean-
You're just looking for a reason to abandon the alien AI.
in
How do you
character,
say-
Tane definitely would. Out of character, I just am saying because like he's the only one that can reliably communicate with these aliens, and so if we need someone to tell them, hey, one of
anybody
our
stays behind, it's
troopers-
got to be him.
yeah.
All right. Make a decision. Are you leaving someone behind, or are you taking everyone with you?
Would they be upset if they don't know where we went? I mean, I don't think the kids liked us very much anyway.
The kids just thought you were strange. This is what you picked up from them.
We don't have enough arms. They'll be fine.
I
This
mean,
is true.
yeah. Then again, this is first contact. Like, we don't want to mess up our alien relations right off the bat by
Leave
basically
the captain, the Tridemus, and the Praetor.
Leave the captain, the Tridemus, and the Praetor. That's what you want to leave?
She's like the ambassador.
Sure.
I don't know. Knowing Captain Marilyn, do you really think that's a great idea? Captain Marilyn's a little anxious about things. I don't know if she might be a little anxious about being the only. It's like being left alone with your significant other's parents. Like, so
You don't know what to do with yourself. You just kind of look up at something that they arbitrarily bought at a piece of art, like at a flea market or a trade swap, and you're like, "Hey, so I see you like so and so." They're like, "What?"
What? Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
Right.
Awkward.
Especially if it's a piece of art that's like really like a representation of something that's completely awful. They just don't
Yeah.
realize it.
It's like, oh yeah, we like this piece because it has ribbons on it. Oh yeah, well it was technically supposed to be a commentary on genocide, but ribbons.
But, go off, I guess.
Yeah, but go off, I guess.
All right. Are you leaving the captain behind?
I mean, no, it feels kind of shitty. I'll stay with the captain.
I'm
If we
gonna
do
be
that.
honest, I don't think the captain would let you leave her behind.
No.
She
Why don't
wouldn't
we
let
just
any of you stay behind.
Why don't we just all go? Hear me
Yeah,
out.
why don't yeah.
Why don't we just all leave? And then we can come back. Cuz that's a thing. It's
Right.
not like we don't have visitation rights. It's not like they've stripped us of those.
We talked with the courts and we're officially allowed to meet with our aliens once every
exactly.
2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
See?
Can the Tridemus leave a written note?
Can we spell out a note with rocks?
No. They went to bed going, hey, we'll show you around in the morning. We went, great.
And then left.
Oh. Can we at least leave a note? It just seems polite.
Why don't we just maybe wake the male adult?
That's actually, why didn't we think of that to begin with? Why don't we
But get-
wake one of them up?
Yeah, but get the Tridemus to do it in case he's a swinger. Like, in case he's a nervous.
Define that swinger. Define your use of the word swinger.
No, in case
He's
he's aggressive.
a violent waker.
He's
Yeah.
got 6 arms. He's like 3 times more violent than the average violent waker.
It just all you hear from there is the sound of somebody smashing a trash can.
Just rolls into the other room.
Tridemus comes out holding one of his arms. I don't believe that went as well as it could have gone. When you learn that each part of the Tridemus is an independent vessel, as you watch the arms swinging, trying to reattach.
Oh, like John Carpenter's The Thing. Yeah, that's going to be reassuring.
Now, I like that movie.
That movie was fantastic, and I don't care what you say.
I love that movie so much.
It's like one of the best. Okay. You are going, you're going to have Tridemus wake Matthew.
Yes, explain to him what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both the whole time and our sleep schedules, and that Nain is sick.
Okay. Tridemus nods, as you wish, and trots off.
Science man is sick.
He comes back in after probably about 10 minutes or so, and you can see following the hulking figure behind him. The creature bends down and peers down into the face of Nain. Does the thing where he holds his big hands out. He looks at Tridemus again, not saying anything. You can see their conversation going on between them, though nothing's being said. Tridemus says, that's rather alarming.
Oh, no.
We should return him as quickly as possible. They said they would help us get back quickly. And you watch as the creature bends down and scoops Nain up in his arms, and he looks tiny compared to the size of this thing.
Oh,
Like a newborn child. How sweet.
Yep.
Which is interesting,
Baby
considering
Nain.
how tall Nain actually is.
Yeah.
How tall is Nain? I don't remember, to be honest.
5'11", if I remember correctly.
Oh.
He's not much shorter than Tane.
Tane is 6'7", I thought. 6'6".
Are you?
Wait a
I'm gonna
minute.
be honest. I thought you said 6'2". So.
No, God.
No, God, Tane's like between 6'5" and 6'7", depending on which.
So we had to get a
Yeah,
custom-made cryopod for that boy. Gotcha.
Yeah. Depending on which convenience store he's leaving, he's between 6'5" and 6'7".
The height differences on this ship are absolutely fantastic.
I genuinely want to know who of our crew is the shortest, because it would be so fucking
Mara.
funny.
Is
It's
it
me.
Nara? I thought
It's
it
me.
was
How
gonna be
tall is
Quentin for a
Quentin?
second.
How tall is
No,
Quentin?
actually, it might be Quentin.
How tall are you, Quentin?
Quentin's like 5'8" standing straight.
There's a solid
Did
foot.
I input this
Phoenix said he's like
information?
6'7.5". Not 6'7". That's dumb. 5'7.5". He's a slouchy boy. He's gotten
Yeah.
better. He
just
stands up
kinda
both
walks with
legs.
his-
Stand up straight.
He walks with his hands in his pockets, like up to his wrists, so he always kind of walks hunched over.
I
So it
don't.
makes him look shorter.
I don't actually have Nara's height, but she'd probably be. She probably would be the shortest because I'd nail her. I'd put her at 5'6".
Quentin's like the one person I can look down at. Yes. After looking up at Tane so often, it's like, what the fuck?
Hey, Tane, did you need? I was gonna run some blood tests. Could you like come down here for a second?
Which makes the fact that Nara grabbed him by the ear one time and like frog marched him was even better.
Literally, just like.
She had to like jump.
She like parkoured up his leg, jumped on his knee, jumped up, spun, grabbed his ear, and then just pulled down with all of her might. So it was like,
Which she's probably something like 150 pounds, so that's pretty hefty.
so she grabbed his ear and then held on.
Just until her feet touch the ground.
Just kind of, ow, ow, ow.
Got my ears pierced at class.
Get
Oh
your
my
ears
God.
pierced
Face
with Nara's.
Claire's.
All right.
Woo!
You watch as the creature scoops Nain into his arms and immediately starts bolting out of the room, expecting all of you guys to follow as quickly as you can.
All right.
Truck it.
On his way out, again, you've never watched the creature carry anything. But on the way out, you watch as you pass by that trophy room, that like foyer that marks where all these creatures are at. He stops and pulls something off of the wall that was kind of half hidden. It looks like it's. I could tell you the name of the thing, but I'm actually gonna have to Google it because I just forgot. Like all of a sudden.
How dare you?
I know.
I can't believe you've done this.
Oh fuck! I can't believe you've done this. I
I'm
was
such a
talking-
disappointment.
Why?
No, I said I'm such a disappointment because I forgot the name of something.
Oh no, you're valid. I love
It
you.
happens to the best of us.
The Makawaddle. It's the Aztec War Club.
Oh, ballin'.
So it's got like this handle that comes out to a flat piece, and all around it you see what looks like jagged pieces of metal then in there, but it's not flat. It has kind of like an almost like a rhombus shape because it's thicker in the middle, and then it comes out to a slope where you see all the jagged pieces at the end of it. And at the very end, at the tip of it, you see what looks to be like a rounded crystal or jewel or stone of some kind. He grabs it with one of his lower limb or one of his upper limbs. He's carrying Nain in his middle set, and then he's running as fast as he can, which again, it's a struggle for you all to keep up. As he does, you watch as he gets to the edge of the compound. You're all following behind, and he comes up, stop, and he motions for you all to wait. You see his hand come up like this. He steps quietly through the opening and looks around for a second.
Well,
He
that's
slides.
almost out.
He kind of slides back in. And then you watch as he steps forward and he looks at you all and does like this. And then as he creeps back forward, you can watch as one of the lower limbs motions you, but it says like this. And you can watch as he kind of crouches down and starts to move slowly. Not real fast, but slowly through by the wall of the compound.
All right. I know Tana is following suit. He got military blood, man. He is on the ground.
And have it out and ready. He's acting like there's obviously something dangerous out here.
All right. Your gun's out and ready.
Same
All
here,
right.
yeah.
And then Tane, I'm sure yours is already at the ready.
Oh yeah.
All right. Everybody else who has a weapon, which is pretty much everybody. Quinn.
It like fumbles with it a little bit for a
Yeah, it's
second.
like,
It's good. I got it.
I think
It's
he's
good.
had training. I think Nara was the only one who hadn't had training.
No, Quentin's had training, but do you
Alright,
think
shit.
it's on the base?
I never thought I'd have to fire one of these.
The
Oh, no.
threshold for passing with handguns is really kind of low. And
He,
if you
like,
have a
just
passing score, you passed. And that's really all they care about.
Quentin's like, yeah, I passed. Oh yeah, what was your grade?
I passed.
I passed.
Hey, look, I scored the necessary 26, okay? Out of 30? 58.
All I can think of is the fucking scenes in Brooklyn Nine-Nine where they're trying to get Terry to get his gun license back after like he has the incident or whatever, and he keeps like trying to shoot and he keeps panicking. He's like, "What if my arm slips? What if I do this?" Ah! And that's Quentin the whole time.
Just, what if this goes off? First of all, it's a laser. Put that down. What happens if I drop it? If it just goes off? That's not how they work. Put that down.
Not gonna happen. But
All right,
you're
so
concerned.
he creeps along ahead of you, and he's again. You watched him move before, and he moves with some speed, but you watch as he's kind of creeping through here, almost slow.
Now, slow by our standards or by his?
Slow by his standards, but from what you've seen, it's you recognize that he's moving more deliberately.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fine. I was just curious, like how fast we would have to be moving to keep up with him.
You're
because
actually
he's-
moving at not a crawl, but you're actually moving at an easy walk
okay.
to keep up with him. He gets a bit ahead of you, and he kind of looks back, and as you watch, you can see. You remember how his eyes kind of had that. There's that crystalline look you can watch as they seem to glow a bit.
Oh,
Not
neat.
much, but like the moonlight caught them or something.
When the moon hits your eye like a big
Stop it.
six-armed guy, that's an alien.
Kind of like cat eyes.
Yeah, very much so.
Atlas, I
Mhm.
absolutely adore that you just did that off the cuff.
He looks back and holds his hand up like this.
All right.
So he's
And
telling
we're
you,
stopping.
and you see him hunker down low again, and his eyes look up, and you watch as one of his hands points up to one of the buildings ahead of you. The glass in this building, or whatever they use for covering the windows, seems to be gone. You can see what appears to be age has worn a bit of the stone and metal away. But in one of the windows, you kind of look up and see a form in there. It is not of an insignificant size. It's
Well, that's
kind of big.
Bigger than him.
Bigger than him from what you can see.
Is that tiger really small or is that just perspective? Perspective! What?
What do we have?
Dude, I'm a...
What's that?
Sorry.
How long a range do our weapons have?
They are considered to be short range, so you're talking about, meters. Yeah, you're talking meters, not very far. He waits for a second. You watch as whatever it was that was in there kind of moves, and you actually you don't really hear anything. But you watch as it moves out of that. As soon as it does, he's motioning to you. He's standing where he's at. He's not moving, but he's motioning you all to come up on him. The captain and the medic all scoot up.
Yeah, I
Um,
scoot up.
Yep.
Yep.
He runs you. He moves underneath an overhang of the same building. You can see the open door, but it's dark and yawning at you like the mouth of some great ancient creature. It makes you uneasy to think about what's in the building. He quickly ducks beneath to the other side of the building and around the corner, motioning you to go with him. As you slide around the corner, you can see the edge of your ship, like the tail end of your ship ahead of you. It's not terribly far, but it's still going to be quite a bit to get there. And he is leading you through where he led you earlier through the main streets.
Mm-hmm.
This time he is leading you through alleys and quickly cutting across and underneath overhangs, as though he is intentionally keeping you out of sight of the main road.
That's concerning.
It takes you nearly 30 minutes to get to where you're going. When you arrive at the ship, you remember you parked it in the middle of the open street.
Ah, shit. Who parked this thing?
The door to the ship is closed as you had left it. Viper armed. The ship sits there waiting for you. As you get close,
Oh,
I would
boy.
like for the three of you.
Oh boy.
What? Whoa.
Ruh-roh.
The
It's
music
been a
just
while
got-
since I've done this, to be
I
honest.
would like the
Or since
three
I've
of
clicked
you.
anything.
Yeah, to give me just an intellect check.
Okay.
I don't know what anyone expected out of me.
Okay. The ship seems to be sitting unmolested, unharmed by anything. He starts to move out into the open. Who is behind him? What's your order behind him?
Tane would take up the rear because I think he's seen enough of this alien's like strength that he would probably feel like he could do the rear while the alien does the front.
Okay. So you're protecting the rear flank?
Yeah.
We'll say the captain is behind him, and then Skippy?
Have him, Captain.
The medic?
Medic. I'll be right behind them.
Okay.
And then,
And that puts Quentin behind you and then Tane at the end. All right. He gets to the edge of the ship. You all kind of come up underneath part of the edge of the ship. The captain quickly enters the door code, and the door opens up. There's a as the door comes down, the ramp opens up, allowing you entry in. You quickly run up. That's when the three of you hear
No! No!
this creaking low.
Get in.
All right. You watch as the captain and the captain like grabs the medical officer and like kind of stumbles up, throws them in. The creature turns and lowers the club, and as he does, you watch him fire in the direction that you all came from. There's a burst of energy from that club, from the end of it. It strikes the stone, sending the stone scattering out. You look as you watch this thing, and it looks like shadow and leather. It spreads wings that are membranous that come all the way down back into the body. It rises up on a long body, and it heads its head, looking down at you. Snake-like, almost. You can... Skippy, you can try to take a shot, or you can go inside grabbing Quentin, and I will allow you guys to try to give me athletics to get into the vehicle first.
I figure me and Tony need to be the last two in because we're probably the best shots.
All right, so I would like for you two to try to give me...
And I'll shoot.
All right, so you're going to kind of throw Quentin up the stairs? All right. You have on your character sheet gun combat.
Fuck yeah!
I would like for you to both roll me gun combat. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Rolling gun combat.
Finally getting to shoot something!
Real combat.
Woo!
We've been playing this game for almost 4 months, and this is the first time Atlas gets to shoot something, and they're playing the Marine.
Your pistol fires. The range on it is a bit out. Your first shot goes wide of the creature, smacking the stone, sending pieces of it scattering down, leaving a small blast mark in there. You watch as Skippy fires as well. Both of your shots kind of cross over and miss the creature. It rears its head back and looks like it's getting ready to strike. What are you going to do? You have a split second.
Is it, like, close?
It's not that it's close, it's that it's big. It has reach, Atlas.
I'm gonna shoot it again, I guess.
All right. Are you going to try to climb up into the vehicle and shoot from the underside, or?
I mean, that would be the smart thing to do, right?
Probably, yeah.
Then Tane doesn't do it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, so
Why
that means
was I
Tane's gonna do what?
expecting that answer?
Of course, that's what you were expecting.
Okay, you said the ramp dropped down.
Right.
Could we take cover under the ramp?
You could, or you can get into the vehicle and kind of like lean out the door and fire.
Yeah. Tane does that, and I mean, we're still in our vac suits, so like, even if we take off at least a little bit, we should be okay for like a minute or so.
Cool.
So yeah, fuck it, I'm pew pew.
All right, go ahead and give me another gun combat roll. Like
It's
the same thing. Skippy, are you doing the same thing?
Backing into position, taking a shot, basically.
All right, go for it. Give me a gun combat roll. All right, once again, your shots go slightly wide of the creature, but it's enough to kind of keep it from striking down. You feel a strong hand, like kind of not really grabbing you, but kind of pushing on you, and you look and you see him down there, and he's got the club in his hand, and he's grabbing the edge of the ramp with his other hand. He's starting to pull it up. The sound of the engines rumble. The ramp starts to come up. The door closes. You both tuck in before it does. Quentin, you don't know who's flying, but it's not you.
Who the fuck is...
I mean, the captain can fly it, right?
It's not the captain. The captain's sitting there with you. You're all looking at one another.
Is it
There's Praetor and Tridemus.
Tridemus? Or Praetor?
You look at going up into the front hold area. You can see Tridemus sitting at the controls. Praetor sitting next to him.
Fantastic. Okay.
I don't know which one's Chewie.
Oh,
Probably,
I was like,
probably
wait, what?
Praetor. Limited communication skills, generally kind of awkward in public situations. Has to be mostly translated / worked with by the Tridemus.
No,
Say
Praetor's
that.
capable of speaking. And Praetor doesn't.
No, not translated necessarily, but he was given more more abilities by the Tridemus.
You're compared to the ship.
Say that again. I'm sorry. You kind of like I'm losing the first bit of your convo.
Oh, me?
No, Skippy, Jason.
Is the creature compared to our ship?
How big is the monster that's attacking you? It could easily wrap its wingspan around you. What you get though is that knowing what little you know of animals, these aren't wings like even a bat. They're more like the membrane that you would see on like a flying squirrel or a sugar glider.
Oh.
They don't
Yeah,
look like
glide,
they're designed to fly, but maybe glide from tall places. Which, if you think about a gliding giant goddamn snake, is in and of itself a bit terrifying.
They exist. They don't have giant membranes, but gliding snakes that spin in order to glide down from high places do exist.
Yes, they do exist, which is actually more terrifying if you think about it. Something that like this, I can see gliding towards me. I can duck out of the way. Something
Right.
propelling itself through the air. That's way more terrifying.
Like
I mean,
love
I'm likely
snakes,
to walk
but I'm
into
not-
every spider
not
web
so
I can
big on
find
that.
at 6'1", but
Yeah.
last thing you want to do is be walking through the woods. Look at me.
There's a friend
It's
outside
not
doing
enough
all
with
the
spider
takeoff.
webs. Don't do this with snakes. No.
Distract the creature enough, he can get away.
As you take off, the ship lurches to the side. You all kind of, the Tridemus looks back and says, "I would suggest you all buckle in. Secure science officer name, please."
Oh yeah, that's right.
Reaches
Where did
over-
Nate go? Is he just on the ground?
Yeah, he's pretty much just like laying there. You don't know how he got in. You were so distracted by big snake thing.
Just whipped him in.
I knew you were in trouble when you got thrown in. Now you're lying on the cold, hard ground.
Stop it. Where's my spray bottle? You quickly secure yourselves as well as Nain, and you can see that Tridemus is doing some fancy maneuvers. The ship comes around, and you can see that he has actually kind of wrestling with it. And if it's not your imagination, he looks bigger, or maybe that thing looks smaller. I mean, not like massively, like they're the same size. Like, and
Yeah,
you took
we're not
and you
talking
grew to a
about-
great size. It's more like he stood up to his full height and spread his arms, making himself look bigger. He's taking big chunks out of it. You can watch as the mouth comes down and he hits it with the club once. But the ship turns in a slow arc and then makes enough speed to breach the atmosphere, leaving the planet behind as well as your new friends,
Oh,
quote
I hope
unquote.
he lives.
So we left him fighting a giant snake. I don't think we were very good friends.
Yeah, no, not really. He's probably gonna die, and his family's gonna be horribly mad at us. And I'm going to have to make a deal with a ghost, and then Tani's gonna walk up and do some weird sacrificial shit, and then he's gonna come back, and the wife is gonna come over and hug him, and it's all gonna be great. But not until Tana gets chewed out by his widow for having killed her husband.
And the crystal skulls were aliens. What are you on, George Lucas Spielberg?
Hey, Cap, remember literally the entire thing with Belle murdering a person?
Oh, God. I want a cascading bolt, but I'm too terrified to.
Whoops.
Yeah, an angry widow. You make a deal with a dark demon to bring him back. Mm-hmm. Yep. Pretty
Yeah.
much everything. All right.
Happen again. It's gonna happen.
It's just, what? At this point, it's just an Atlas thing.
It just
An
it
Atlas
all
thing.
repeats, but it's a different world. So
Murder
instead of vampires on a demiplane of dread, it's space vampires
On a demi-plane of dread.
on a demiplane of dread.
Well,
For
dress
some
me
reason,
up.
they all
in a
look like
skimpy
Gabriel Reyes.
suit. Yeah.
So you V just chuckled.
I think we should give me a skimpy skin suit and give me a sniper rifle because I'm becoming the Widowmaker.
We're gonna.
Right. So back to the game. Tridemus comes back once you have exited the planet's atmosphere. He says, "We have it from control here. Take off his suit. Let's see what's going on. I would suggest, though, not knowing what's going on with him, that you all remain in your suits. At least the air purifies in there may keep something out. Might affect you all." And he deftly and quickly undoes the vac suit that is on Nain. Looking him over, he watches the Tridemus sits there for a moment. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It's not something that I've seen. It's not in any of the knowledge repositories I have access to. Perhaps our doctor might be able to devise an idea of what's going on. In the meantime, if it is spreading quickly, which you're looking at him now, and it seems to have creeped up a bit further, these red blotches. It hasn't completely consumed him, but you can see now that it's on the cheeks, or starting at the jawline and starting to creep up.
Oh boy.
I suggest we try to get in communication with Dr. Kalinar. It's a possibility that we might be able to slow the creeping effect here. I've set the ship on course. We should arrive in due time.
Fantastic. I guess I can try getting on comms and see if we can get a hold of Nara if we're not
Yeah.
too far off.
Grand idea.
I mean, you're just the next planet over. You've only been gone for almost 2 weeks. You know, everything's fine.
It's fine. Nara's running an
More like a
entire
week.
I'm running an
planet
entire
by
colony
herself.
by myself. It's fine.
Everything's fine. This is fine. I'm
It's a
fine.
civilian government by this point.
What's that now?
Supposed to be a civilian government at this point.
Yeah.
It's already
The
falling
civilian
apart.
government is Nara. She is the civilian and the government.
Give me an electronics check, please, Quentin.
You got it.
Nice.
Quentin takes one look at the panel and is like, I got this.
Nice.
Pulls it up.
Smack my hand on it. This I know how to work.
Check 1, 2. Quit
Hello.
trying to spin the comms. They're not platters. Ricka, ricka.
DJ Quentin in the house.
DJ Q Payne in the house.
I want to see everybody's hands in the air.
I would be one of those DJs that are like, yeah, here comes the bass drop, and then all of a sudden like, a different slow song starts playing. And it's just like,
Oops. All right, so you get on the comms. You do not reach Nara directly. Instead, you reach the communications officer who is on planet side. And as soon as you cue in who you are, there is a flurry of excitement on their side. You realize you've been gone for like almost 6 days now. Where have you been?
And we had dinner with an alien.
I'm just like sitting there like, we've been gone for 6 days. Like not into the comm, but like,
Like mentally, like, what the fuck?
yeah, probably it's like, wait, 'cause Quentin probably hasn't noticed. But yeah, 6 days. Can you put Nara on, please?
Can I please speak to Nara?
Is your mom home? Can we speak to her? Just a minute. Hang on. And the comm goes quiet for a minute. Nara, as you are investigating this strange phenomenon that fell from the sky, it's been several hours since that happened. I would say probably about 12 or 13. And as you are actually stepping out to talk to somebody about something, you watch as a young, one of the young engineers that you've seen kind of around the place comes running over. You know he works in the communications array. Runs up to you excitedly. They're on the radio. They've hailed us. They're on the radio.
Who's
Come
they?
on. The crew.
Ah!
Sorry, ma'am.
I love him. I would protect him with my life.
And you felt the absolute dire need to come tell me this, why?
They asked for you, ma'am.
Okay. That changes everything. Next time, lead with that.
Yes, ma'am. He's kind of He's doing that quick thing where his arms are locked at his side and he's got his head kind of down. He's just marching real quick back to the...
She just kind of like pats him on the head and then moves off.
This is just the colony child. Like everybody
I
loves
love
this
him.
kid.
He's perfect.
He's just doing his best.
What's his name, Cap? You need to give him a name.
Oh. It's Eugene Ramsey, if you must know.
He's perfect.
Yes, his name is Eugene Ramsey.
Eugene Ramsey.
Aww.
He has
I
brown
love
hair. He keeps his face clean shaven. He doesn't really think the facial hair grows in well on him.
He's perfect.
He has kind of a thin face and like his cheeks are a bit sunken in. He's a little wide at the shoulders, but kind of narrows down. He's not built. He's like lean fit, but like he's one of those guys that I just don't know, man. I just have a really good metabolism. I just eat whatever I want to, and I always stay this skinny. And like I hate him because he wears a size 28 jeans, and it's like I just want to punch him in his damn face.
I fucking love him.
Because I haven't seen a size 28 since I was in like the 7th grade. I'm a big boy.
And you
Yes.
know I like that you gave me a very detailed physical description because you already know I'm drawing him. You already know I'm drawing this
What makes
boy.
you think I didn't have it already?
Yeah, I mean, listen. The fact that you gave it to me though, that's really the telling thing.
Well, you're welcome. He runs after you started off in that direction. You get to the communications array and it's been a few minutes and all of a sudden the mic kicks on.
Nara, here. What's going on?
Hi, it's Quentin. Nane's sick.
What?
That sounded accusatory. What?
What did you do?
We don't know, but he's covered in hives of sorts, right? And I heard the
Hives?
description.
Right, guys? Hi,
Right,
right?
guys.
Hi.
Quentin,
Yeah, hi.
darling, Quentin, darling, I love you. Can you please put on the medical guy I sent with you?
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Medical guy. Let's switch. Yeah.
Alternatively, you could put on the Tridemus.
Medical guy.
The familiar voice of Sam comes on the line. Hello, doctor.
Sam, what's going on?
Not sure. He's got a kind of a mid-grade fever. He's currently running about 99 degrees. It looks like hives or some sort of red welts that are spreading out from the neckline. Seems to be
When he says
accelerating a bit.
hives, I say
But
I told you so. Just like yell over. I
Okay.
told you it was hives.
it
Shut up,
seems to be
Quentin.
Spreading from underneath his clothing up to his face. It's on the back of his hands, and it looks like it's. I haven't found the center yet. I haven't stripped him down to look yet. We got him out of his vac suit, though.
Okay, don't strip him down any further. We will prepare a sealed chamber here, where we can get him under observation. We will transport him via a cryopod. The only two who should be dealing with him are the two androids. I do not want any human contact with him until we find out what's going on.
We're all still in our vac suits. Tridemus said we should probably stay in them.
Then you should absolutely listen to the Tridemus in this situation.
Yes, ma'am.
However, when you land, we will have a cryopod that is movable. The two androids will load Nane onto it, and then that ship needs to be scrubbed from stern to
Stem to stern.
stem to stern. Thank you. And I mean absolutely scrubbed. We're talking any sort of cleaning materials, any biological residue needs to be cleared off that ship before it can go off again.
Yes, ma'am.
Down with 100% peroxide. Organic will live.
As for treatment for Nane, just for now, treat the fever. Try and get the fever to break until you get here.
I will do what I can. Of course, my supplies are are limited,
Do what
but
you
I'll-
can. Just enough to either keep the fever stable or break it.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll handle everything else once you get here. Fly safe.
Yes, ma'am.
At which point she is going to sign off and run for her medical bay to prep it for Nain's arrival. Getting one of the private rooms situated so that it is accessible only to those with authorization, etc., etc., etc.
In a couple of days.
It'll take a little while to get all that set up, though.
Yeah, that's true. Especially since you don't
If the
have
doctor running across the colony panics the colonists.
No,
Why is the
This
doctor
is
running?
a really stern walk. Like a
You
speed.
think they're gonna talk to her after the way she just dressed down like council members?
She walks like the Winter Soldier. She's just got the fucking like just heavy boot steps, like fucking.
Her head's not down. Her chin is dipped slightly, and she's like staring straight ahead. Just
and it's like, holy shit, Nora's mad. No, she's not. That's just like how it is.
somebody gets in the way. She just tramples them like a stagecoach.
somebody gets in her way and she just shoves them into the fucking dirt.
She just
It's like,
Now
grabs them by the
listen, the
collar,
dirt's
yeets
making
them
people
over her
sick.
shoulder.
You can't do that.
the dirt's making people sick. You can't do that.
It's fine. I've got the cure back in the medical office.
You just start yeeting people over your
I can
shoulder.
do anything I want. I have the cure.
Yes, the one with no athletic scores at all is gonna yeet people over her shoulder.
This bitch sick. Yeet!
They fall over. All right.
But no, people absolutely just get out of the way.
Um,
And I'm assuming I'm gonna have councilmen and council members coming into my office very shortly.
you on the ship. The medical officer and the Tridemus do what they can with what they have to keep Nain comfortable. The voyage is without any incident whatsoever. By the time you guys get to within visual range of the planet, like actual, like it's not just a little ball in the distance, actual like visual range. You can see that it's crept up a bit further. It's now resting in his cheeks. His skin color, except for where the welts are, has turned kind of waxy. And he looks just
Bad.
done in. The medical unit and the Tridemus have rigged bags of fluids just to keep him going, but the resources that they had with you guys is not a whole lot, so those are getting slim. And you are out of any further medical supplies on the ship, so when you land, you will definitely have to restock it.
After the scrub down.
The landing is... I would like for Quentin Kane give me a pilot roll, please.
Just flat.
No, I will say you get a +2 because the Praetor, who is the ship, is with you.
Also because it's basically your damn ship.
You
You're doing great, sweetie.
Just like flying the ship.
You hit a couple of pockets. The entry is not smooth, not as smooth as you would have hoped. And you hit a couple of pockets of turbulence on the way down. But otherwise, you land the craft without much of an issue. No one takes any injuries or anything else like that. As you touch down and the doors open, Nara, you can see the vehicle coming, and you and your crew have moved this cryopod out to receive them. As soon as they land and the ramp opens, the Praetor and the Tridemus are carrying Nain carefully in their arms. They're doing the whole, where they've each got this arm locked, and they've got him sitting up in there with his arms draped around their necks, and they're carrying him out. They set him down easily into the cryopod, and you shut it closed. I'd like for you to give me a medicine check, please. Fuck. can sweep.
Poor
You are not sure what it is, but you quickly seal the cryopod. And you flood it with the chemical that stops his, kind of stops him from accelerating anymore. The cryopod is taken back. However, you're not quite sure what is going on. You've never seen anything like this before. Now, Tridemus looks at you and says, Dr. Morrison, I have some concerns.
I'm sure you do. Walk and talk.
Absolutely. I have the knowledge repository from several cultures and planets and other life forms. I've not seen anything like this before. I'm not sure if this is something that is intrinsic to humans, or if it is something larger. I can assure you that none of the others have shown any sign of this illness.
It may not be an illness. I don't know what this is. I have to take vital readings. I have tests that I need to run before I can even start making a hypothesis. This seems to be a very strange, almost allergic reaction to whatever it is that you guys encountered there. And as long as this suit wasn't off, we can moderately rule out anything airborne. However, of course, not completely. So, the filtration systems are good, but they may not be that good. With that in mind, I have many tests to run and my own vac suit to get into so I can do it.
Understood. If there's anything that I can do to mitigate your chances of catching whatever this might be, I'm at your service.
I appreciate it. Captain, you might want to go check in with the local government. They're being a pain in my ass.
She sighs and rubs, rubs the sides of her eyes. Of course they are. Why did I expect anything else?
Tane, you might want to check in with your security team, re the scouting missions. And Quentin, you might want to join him on that. We've been mapping out quite a bit of the area around, so it would be good to get you two caught up on that. Skippy, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what you do.
Alright, scrub it.
But you could perhaps then...
Skippy, go look pretty somewhere.
Skippy, you could supervise the scrub down of the ship, make sure everything's restocked. If you need anything from my medical department, please let me know, put it in the requisition forms, you know how it works.
I can just imagine Skippy's already got, the yellow rubber gloves on. The little...
He's not taking his vac suit off, but has the yellow gloves on.
He has the carrying tray that's got the Fabuloso in there, and it's got the
Mr. Clean,
the Pine Sol.
Oh, God. You walk into the ship afterwards. You're like, it smells like my abuela's house.
So yes, Captain. If you guys can handle that, I would highly suggest that you do so. I will keep you updated on Nain as updates become available. Sam, with me, please.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Here.
And Nara's gone.
Sam is following along.
Oh, sorry. Hang on.
Sam
Before she leaves, she walks over, gently pats the side of Quentin's friggin' helmet, says, I missed you, and then leaves.
Aww.
I was expecting to get a good smack because I felt like you were doing something stupid, and it's like,
It's
I wasn't. I swear.
Oh no! That's a smack for Tane for letting you do something stupid.
no.
I can just imagine you slapping the back of Tane's helmet, but it sends his head forward, so it's just gunk. Ow! And he's trying to comfort it, but he can't touch it. He's like, ah!
We take these back suits off now. I hate this.
Thwunk.
Although you guys are planet side, so you can take the vac suits off now that we've got Nane contained.
Just like whipping that helmet off. It's gone. It's across
like,
the.
just like
Skippy's like, nope.
Dramatic anime
scrub it.
hair flip as the sweat like falls out of your hair in slow motion.
It just,
Whoosh.
it just
The atmosphere like hits his hair. It gets poofier.
The humidity.
Just trying to flatten it. Shit.
Alright, Carrot Top, you ready to go
Yeah.
check out the nappy?
No.
First thing he does is goes and gets his round brush to kind of keep that shit in control. All right,
Oh god.
Skippy. The process for cleaning, you're aided by several of the labor force there helping you out. Most of them, however, come from the science office, the science group. So you have several of the engineers and some of those guys with you, just scrubbing the ship from top to bottom, inside and out. So it looks like the most detailed work you've ever seen. I mean, this bitch gleams. Put this
This
shit
Yeah,
on.
it's probably fine.
What's that?
Fine. Re-entry is gonna be rough on any kind of organism.
Yes, true. You don't want to take any chances though. You scrub the inside of it out, and I would like for you to give me there's a roll that I want you to give me, but I need to look and see which one I want. Give me a jack of all trades, actually. The first times I think you've ever rolled that. Like one of the highest skills you have too. Okay. As you are cleaning, one of the items that Quentin had taken from the shelves, or maybe it was Name, maybe it was, you don't know. They all kind of grabbed some items. One of the items, which was kind of underneath one of the benches, the jump seats, you come sweeping it out.
The item.
It has a patina on it, you know, like metal that's aged. You pick it up with you're wearing your vac suit. When you pick it up with your gloves, you realize that it kind of, you rub it, and whatever it is you rub comes off easily enough, and it's like stuck on your glove. It doesn't move or anything, but you can see that there's like this slick of whatever that is on there.
It may not be corrosion. It may be something organic growing on it.
I'm not sure. Not your forte.
Not my department.
Plastic sheeting or plastic bags.
Easy enough.
In my hand, and then like rubber band it there, and then I head to the medical department.
Sure. You have you can I'll say you can work something out like that. Nara, as you are working with your crew, trying to figure out where you're going, running tests and things like that, making sure that the cryo bed is going to be sufficient enough to do the job that you want, you watch as Skippy comes in. On his arm is a bag that is being held closed by... you actually couldn't find a rubber band, so the nearest thing you could find was a zip. It's zip tied right here. He's
I
got
got you something.
in his hand. He's holding a small... It's actually not small. It's about like that big. And it's like a figurine of some sort, or some kind of art piece.
Is it in the bag, or is that out of the bag?
It's in the bag with his hand, and it's all like clamped down around his wrist.
Okay.
Forearm.
What is that, and why are you bringing it to my medical bay?
Some souvenirs. We thought this one was corroded, but when I picked it up while we were scrubbing off of my gloves, I'm wondering if it might be organic. I can't remember if Quentin grabbed this one or if Nane grabbed it.
Okay. Shoot's gonna walk over to the comm unit. I need a team of science officers over here, please.
Well, the closest that you're going to have to bioengineers and chemists or bioengineers are going to be your team.
Is it really?
Yeah, the science
then
officers
disregard.
are engineers, electronics engineers, computer
disregard
engineers.
Then she's going to go to her own team and find out who of them are the biochemists, etc., and direct him to them. And then she is going back into that room with her suit on to continue doing what she needs to do to figure out what the hell's going on with Nate.
The two that come forward are a woman who is of some Asian descent or background. She has, beautiful black hair that's pleasant. She introduces herself as Karen. And then you have another woman that's with her, and she has short here, and it's like super tight curls on her head. And she introduces herself as Christine. They both tell you that they are, nurses, but their background is with biochemistry and biomedicine, biology. You know what I'm trying to say. The words are leaving my fucking brain right now as I'm spitting this out. But they actually take you to where the seed bank.
Okay.
They lead you into what is effectively like a clean room. As they set you in there, they, keeping you bound, they have a polymer box. It's a clear, plexiglass.
Sounds like an incubator.
Yeah, like some kind of incubator or storage unit. Karen says, we're going to leave. Take your hand, take everything out, and I want you to take your glove and close the box. Once you've got the box sealed, we're going to clean the room. I want you to hold your breath. We'll let you know. Okay. Once you've been sprayed down, then we can let you exit the room. Do you understand? Okay. They leave and shut the door. You can see there's a thick rubber gasket around the door to seal it. And as it does, you kind of watch them crank it down, and it seals the door up. All right. You hear the comm come over, and it's her voice, very tinny sounding. All right. Go ahead. Take off the glove. Leave everything in the box. Seal the box. Okay?
Take off the glove. Put it in the box. Seal the box.
All right. So, bag, little trinket, glove are all in the box. You seal it closed.
Seal the box, or seal the bag around the glove where I can pop it loose.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You can definitely do that because the bag has a metal coupling here that has a gasket. You can seal it so that you can slide your hand out and it still stays contained in there. So you do so. And as you take your hand out, close the box lid. And she says, all right, are you ready? Now you're still in your vac suit. Yeah, but it's been breached. So she says, all right, here we go. Hold your breath. And there's a spray of white that you're not sure how long it lasts. It may only be 20 seconds. It may be 30 seconds. Eventually you watch as it kind of dissipates out. All right, you can breathe again. And the room smells, you can actually it smells of astringent, very astringent smell to it. She watches the seal is undone and the door kind of pops and the seal opens. All right, come on, exit out. We're going to let that sit for a minute. We'll come back around to that.
Okay.
She takes and looks you over carefully and she asks you, was there radiation or were you guys exposed to any radiation?
Radiation.
Okay.
Not enough to be dangerous to us in the short term. You wouldn't want to live there, though.
She says, all right.
Pull off the amounts, whatever it was.
Right. Like, God, no. I was about to say a number that it would pretty much be fucking fatal to you. So no, it's not that much. Oh, it's like, 30 rads. No.
3. I'm at 3.
It's 150 rads, honestly. I had to think for a minute there. It's 150 or 140. It's over 100 to kill someone. But like 30 would make you sick. So you were probably looking more around like between 5 and 6. But you were exposed to that over a long period of time. Well, the time that you were there. So you've accumulated some, but you're kind of, it doesn't stick around kind of thing. It does, but it doesn't.
The vac suits, which are made for space, that should have offered us a good bit of protection.
Yeah, it offers you protection, but remember that they're kind of free. They just kind of bounce around everywhere. So in the ship and on you, that's one of the reasons why you wanted to scrub it down. She kind of backs away for a second, looking at you as she does, and she says, does Dr. Morrison know that you've been exposed to that much radiation?
I'm not sure what Quentin told her over the radio.
Okay.
As we landed.
Okay.
Been distracted by the thing.
We'll take over from here. We'll let you guys know what we find. Thank you. And she kind of shrugs. She says, you were? I don't know what.
We'll call them people that had long-term exposure to this stuff, and it was affecting their birth rates. Do for them, since they still have to live in that environment.
Long-term exposure to generations of these creatures? Unless we find the source and try to scrub the entire environment. But even then, you're talking about generations of living outside of the radiation. But we don't know if it so permeates them that we don't know what doing something like that would do to the rest of the environment. Yeah, I'm without more information, I'm not really sure.
Something for a later day. They've survived this long.
Make sure you report all that to Dr. Morrison. She'd be fascinated, I'm sure. Say that again. I'm sorry, you cut out. I keep missing like the first
syllable.
Few seconds. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you'll make a report. That I caught. Gotcha.
I didn't catch that, but okay.
He did this right here, and I was like,
"Oh, okay." And I don't have cams, so.
Gotcha. You're gonna write a report. All right. Nara. His vitals, like I said, his temperature is raised. It's elevated because he's running a fever. His heart rate is elevated, not dangerous in the intermediate and the immediate, but you're afraid of permanent damage over a long term if it keeps running at that rate. Did everybody freeze or is it okay? You guys are all sitting very still.
Oh my god, I have cams on everybody all of a sudden.
Oh yeah.
I have cams on everybody but Cap.
Holy crap. Oh yeah, Cap's gone. Actually, never mind. I just noticed that it was done.
Right. Hold on. Yeah, my whole entire page is just shut down now.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Can you hear
But
me
I
okay?
do have cams on everybody. I have cams on Jason and V now.
Here I am.
It's like roll 20 suddenly decided to work.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Hey, look, for the most part, this program
Atlas is
cooperates with us.
I reconnected because I can't
Oh.
see.
I was like,
Ah, shit.
Hang on.
The technical difficulties have just...
It's like the only person I saw moving was Jason, and then I saw Atlas barely move. I literally thought that you... I literally thought Maddie and V were just sitting very still.
We were.
I probably
Wow.
was. I'll be honest.
V never sits still that long.
Bold of
I
you
mean,
to
you're not
assume V
wrong.
has ever sat still.
I mean, I guess you're right, to be honest.
Accept it, embrace it, love it. All right, I see Atlas.
Shit, you don't even
I
you
can't
don't
see
even
anyone except
sleep
Casper.
still.
That's fine. I'll just die. Oh wait. there's
Okay.
Steve.
You're not wrong.
Like there was a night that she thought my back was a fucking wall, and she just braced her feet and her hands against my back and nearly shoved me out of the bed.
I was half awake too. I'm crying.
Goodness.
I have cams on everybody.
Excellent.
It only took me an hour and a half.
Yay! All right, so looking over him, you can see that his heart rate is elevated and concerned because if you don't bring it down, eventually it's going to cause long-term damage. You can see that his temperature is elevated, and the big concern there is it's not enough to fry his brain, but the body can't operate at that height or at that temperature for a very long period of time without burning out. As he is sinking into the cryo, though, you're watching as everything is slowed down. So you're looking at the readings before he went into cryo. Because currently...
He's slow.
Anyways. It's carbonite. You, Tridemus says, Dr. Morrison, I did a scan while I could. I'm ready to relay the data to you that I have.
Yes, please.
Excellent. And he walks over to one of your computers that's there, and there's a moment where you see nothing, and then the display that comes up appears to have several bits of information along with what you've already seen from the readings that Sam took. You can see that there is levels of the necessary elements within the body, like your iron level and things like that. They were all showing depleted, as though he has run into like anemia, like he was going anemic. You can see that some of the things that should not be elevated were, like there was a sudden spike in like his blood sugar level, which is kind of weird because there's not normally a dichotomy. That's kind of a flow thing. And then everything kind of shuffles back to the normal. It's like 1 second it's all over the place, and the next second it's normal, with the exception of the elevated temperature, the elevated heart rate. He says, the most interesting thing that I found was this. And he shows you a surface scan of the body. And it seems to have an epicenter that circles like right around the middle of his chest and seems to have spread out from there to cover his arms, like the back of his hands, up his neck and face. You've put him on ice, and if you do a preliminary scan from the cryo chamber, you can see that everything seems to slow down comparatively, but it seems to almost have its own heat signature. Yes, that's what I thought. So that it's almost as though it's a life form of its own.
But how would that
Go
get
see
into the
Venom in
suit?
theaters, everybody.
Exactly
Out
what I
for-
was thinking.
No, swear to God.
But how did it get into his suit?
I'm not sure. I don't know enough about the pervasive species to tell you anything more than I don't know.
Of course. All right then. Is there a way for me to get a sample without pulling him out of cryosleep?
It's on him, so the only way to do it would be to
Just open it up really fast and close it again. Like the fridge at night.
Well, you don't want the light to like illuminate everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to suit up into a clean suit. Step into the chamber with the materials I need to collect said samples. I'm going to be drawing blood from both infected and non-infected areas of his body to compare. I will be taking skin samples. More interestingly, I'm going to scrape samples off of his arm. His metal one. And I'm also, while in there, going to check the connection for his arm to see if there's any other issues there. Is it possible to take his arm off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I'm going to do that. Like, I'm going to remove his arm so we can clean it and
do keep in mind there aren't red welts on the metal. It's just
yeah, no, I'm aware. I'm aware. But like she'll make sure his arm is clean to be reattached once we've got him fixed. Cured. Cured.
Take a hammer and fix the science officer.
I'm assuming while I'm in there, Skippy's going to approach where I'm working at that point.
Yeah. While you are there, you do exactly what you want to do. You step inside the clean room. You know that coming in and out of this isn't good, but it's not going to be as harmful as him dying from whatever this unknown thing is. So you work quickly to swab samples down in his arm. You take scrapings from where you can. As soon as you touch one of your swabs to one of the red welts on his arm, he doesn't arch in pain, but you watch as his hand kind of twitches. You're not sure if it's from discomfort, but it kind of, does that.
Okay, I'm also going to, with the scissors that I know I have brought in, he's out of his vac suit, and she's going to cut him out of his clothes.
Okay. And
then, of course, because as doctors should, privacy towel over his junk.
You cut him from his clothes, and you can see it's not a pattern, but there's a blotch where these welts are a lot closer together. And then they spread out. And it's not like there's such a coverage that they're like just red welt from here to there. It's like spread out enough that it looks like chicken pox, but without the little pustule heads. But you can see where it looks like those welts are spread across his human arm.
Yeah.
And then up to his neck and things like that.
So it looks almost like poison ivy or poison oak.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Some places it's a little more than others. As you are looking, as you kind of pick him and move him, you can see that it is starting to spread across his back.
Okay.
It has not completely uncovered his back. It is starting to creep down his legs. It's to about his knees right now.
Okay. Then I'm going to slide the cover back on the cryopod, which will put him back into cryostasis. Going to use the cryopod to take pictures of the welts, and then step into the decontamination section.
Yep.
Set everything down into sealed containers so that they can be worked on, including his arm, and then strip out of the suit, allow myself the decontamination, and then collect everything and keep going.
Excellent. So as you do so, you come out the other side, and Tridemus looks at you, his hands. I know I don't have your trust, but I would really be concerned if anything happened to you. If in the future you would like, I would be happy to step in and take that responsibility if need be.
See, it is not about trust. It is more about the fact that you do not have the qualifications that I do. They brought me on here because I am the best of the best.
True, but I do have all of the same knowledge.
But would you consider, for example, seeing Nain, would you have considered taking his arm off to clean it so that it's ready for him when he comes to?
And this is true, but I could be instructed to do so.
It's not something that I would have thought of unless I was standing there.
Understandable.
So, while I understand the concern, I would prefer to do it myself.
Of course.
You are welcome to be there and observe to make sure that nothing untoward happens, but I will be doing this myself.
Understandable.
And unfortunately, you will have to put on one of the decontamination suits. It is not for your safety, it is for everybody else's.
Understood. Skippy, as you are making your way, there is a small gathering of individuals outside of the medical unit. You see representation from all of the council members there, including the very bitchy one. Looking carefully, you can definitely see that there are concerns, but they don't seem to be like they're trying to figure out who's going to go in first. And they're not blocking the door per se, but they are definitely
in your way.
There in the way.
Step over to him.
Mm-hmm. You are like, I'm losing all of your low, except for like the very last part. So like all I heard was council persons.
Council persons. What brings you over here today?
The man that spoke last time, that was forward. We heard that one of yours was ill.
Crash. We have him in quarantine.
Do we know what is wrong with him?
Rash, the doc's looking at him now.
May we speak to Dr. Morrison?
Quarantine room currently.
Yes, I see. We have some concerns that it might spread, and about this time you watch as that very shrewish woman steps forward. Are we all going to get sick now?
Quarantine.
A likely story. Fine.
Oh my god.
Well, just, I guess, wait to die. And she turns on her heels and starts to march off. And you watch as the one that spoke last week and several of the others just kind of.
Icon, drama queen.
We're the one walking away can for sure hear me.
Did that.
How did someone with so little spine sign up for this kind of expedition?
She
Wig snatched.
Whips her head around and stares daggers at you. But from behind you, you hear a... You look as...
Now, to be fair, Skippy, you actually you didn't hear about what happened between her and Nara. So, this is fantastic. Continue. I apologize. Just remember that you haven't heard about what happened between her and Nara.
Finish her.
You watch as he's a good old Texan looking boy. He's kind of big and just kind of walks forward and crosses his arms and looks at you and says, "You know, not all of us voted for. I'm just saying."
I didn't vote for you.
You don't vote. We're not a democracy. We're a monarchy. He says to you, he says, "That was well said. You say the doc's working on her, then I guess he's working on her."
let me reassure you all that, the entire time, he didn't come out of his vac suit until he was in quarantine in here. We have scrubbed the ship down.
All right.
We are taking this very seriously.
No, if you and the captain and the rest of the crew tell us that, there's nothing to worry about, then we're not going to worry about it. All right?
I am sure the doc will keep us all up to date on what she finds out. But she's doing her initial examination right now.
All right. And he kind of pats the other guy on the back, on the back. He says, Yamal, let's go skin that cat down from the tree she's going to be climbing. You watch as the dark-skinned councilman just kind of shakes his head and he goes, do not like that woman. I do not like her at all. He goes, I know, come on. And they just kind of walk away. With their dispersal, you can kind of watch as you get the idea that she bends the ear of individuals who are like-minded, but they move people to follow them. And as they start to walk off, you watch as the rest of the members who had gathered kind of disperse. You enter the medical bay, and it is not really hopping, but you can see that Nara and Tritimus are looking over some data. You have your crew run all the samples?
Yep. Of course, in completely controlled conditions so that they don't contract whatever it is.
Sure thing. Once again, Tritimus is offering all of the help that he can. Whether or not you take it is up to you.
She asks him to cross-reference the data that they pull up, but she doesn't want him dealing with any of it. Not because she doesn't trust him, but because it's going to take them way too long to get him into a fucking suit. Because part of her team is just coming off of, dealing with the Dirtborn virus. So some of them are still suited up and ready to go. So they've just transferred what they were working on there in a contained area to now working on this.
To name these diseases. I vote for Dirt Fever and Nane's disease.
Nane's disease.
Oh, man.
Dirt Fever and
Nane's disease. I like it.
I'm down.
I like it.
Hey, Nane, you're dying, but good news, they're gonna name the disease after you.
If only Lou Gehrig would realize he was catching Lou Gehrig's
Oh, God.
I thought it was obvious. I apologize. I'm so sorry. But at the same time, not.
Something
Alright.
too soon?
He's been dead since, 1900.
It's like,
That's the point!
not really.
Anyway, Nara is, of course, hearing her medical bay open and expecting the bitch is going to turn and be relieved to see Skippy instead.
It's Skippy.
Oh, good. You got that off your arm. That's good news.
Without having to remove the arm.
I don't know if we could craft you a metal arm like Nane has. I just
Would
don't
Nane
know
have
if
a
we have the
spare?
resources.
Let's do a genuine question.
My vac suit after the seed bank.
Have you been...
Have I had time to change out of my
Yes.
vac suit?
Yeah, you've had time.
So I'm not walking
I
around with
know a
just one
great
glove.
automail mechanic.
You're not just in the vac suit missing one glove, helmet on. Like, what's wrong? How special are you? You're extra special. As Tritimus is looking over the data, one of your guys comes up. You need to see this.
Pull it up on the screen.
All right. He pulls it up on the screen, and it is clearly an image from one of the microscopes that they have. And it is, he says, this is from one of the samples of the swabs you swiped. And you can see small moving things darting about. Little, whip-like, hair-like things on the edges of them, moving about quickly.
Trinimus, what the fuck is that?
That would appear to be some sort of bacteria.
Right. And the cure for bacteria is other bacteria. Fuck.
Just a moment.
Doc, do we have any penicillin?
I've pored over the collective data that you have, all of the bacteria known to your type, and that doesn't seem to match any that I've seen. Therefore, making that a foreign bacteria. Congratulations, you found another form of life here.
Great.
Okay. I have a bit of concern. It's bacterial, and the spread of that is going to be possible contact.
Well, if he wasn't out of his vac suit, the question is how did he become in contact with it?
That thing.
I think perhaps we're going to need to wait a little bit on what we can learn from the biochemist. However, we have enough samples for right now. Let's try injecting it with some penicillin, some of our well-known antibacteria bacteria, and we're going to experiment with the samples. If we need to draw more, I will. And we're going to find a cure for this, because fuck. She's also going to check to see what his white blood cell count is right now.
You know that it's an antibiotics is what you would be using. So you'd be using like amoxicillin, tetracycline.
She's also making sure that if he's allergic to any of that they're not giving it to him.
Right. Oddly enough, I'm allergic to tetracycline. It's like one of the only biotics that I'm allergic to. And what does it do? It causes swelling on my optic nerves. It's like 1% of all of the population have that. So I find that out after I was taking it and go, why do my eyes always hurt? Oh, that's because... Why does everything look funny? Oh, Jesus. Which is also why I wear glasses now.
Aww.
It's no big deal. It's not like I'm blind and I can't see. That and staring at computer screens.
That'll do it.
Anyways, you run it through a battery of tests, different things, starting with some of the most innocuous with penicillin as a base.
Once she starts her team on that, she's going to turn and look at Skippy and just give me the full rundown of what the fuck you guys were doing up there.
It was a free one. He's already had a data pad in hand. Already typing.
He's steadily writing a report.
Okay. I need to know, what did you eat? What did you come in contact with? Were you exposed at any time over anything?
I don't think Skippy was.
This is the time you should tell her about the radiation.
Oh, right. Didn't be the report.
And eating
Well,
the
there was
mice.
background radiation.
Yeah, but she needs to know this information. She needs to know this information now.
Yeah, he's rattling it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the civilization had nuked itself out or something.
Okay. She's going to turn and point to one of the ones that are moving and let them know that she needs I fucking looked this up. I looked this up. They would have had it on the ship because they would have been prepared for it because they didn't know where they were going. And she needs a potassium iodide pill for Nain to counteract the radiation exposure.
I'm very proud of you.
And then she's also going to call for Marilyn, Tane, and Quentin to report to the medical bay for a checkup. And they are each also going to receive a pill just to catch it in the early stages. She is going to call for one to be brought to her right now with a small glass of clean water, and she is going to hold them to Skippy.
You stop Paul, who's been moving in and out and almost kind of like your right-hand guy here recently. And he immediately just snaps to yes, ma'am, because he knows not to make you angry. He's watched that. And
I'm sure he was the guy that I was talking to when she came into my medical bay the first time. And then he just heard the entire conversation through the door.
It's the scene from New Hope where they're starting to walk down the way, and then all of a sudden they just see something come flying out of the room and hear the tantrum going on. The two guys just stop, turn around, and walk back the direction they came from. Yep. Paul had a report in his hand. He goes up to the door. He can hear you yelling. He goes, "No, not as a good time. No."
I like it.
Yeah, he's only gone for a mere minutes because they're there in the medical bay with you, and he comes back and he hands you, a tablet and a glass of water, to which are presented to Skimmy's like, I'm not arguing with you.
Okay,
I like the visual effects.
That should get a jump start on any sort of radiation exposure you would have experienced, regardless of the suit or whatever. We may have been in space, but radiation on a planet is a different matter.
Yep. Also, everybody except me ate this weird rat thing that one of the...
And nobody else is experiencing any sort of ill effects? Okay. Alright. That's not a problem then. But I will keep it in mind on the off chance that we need to pump Nan's stomach. Are you okay over there?
I don't think you have to worry about pumping it. Probably in the collection.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a dry here. It's okay.
She is...
Just a dry...
At this point, she's going to inquire about how the ship is, whether or not he got it clean.
Yeah, they're still working on some of it, but yeah, for the most part, it's all clean.
Okay. Would he tell her about the collection of people outside of her medical office?
Nara just want to fight.
She's putting on the medical gloves.
You'd mention it just in passing. Okay.
I guess there was a crowd when I got here.
Okay.
Across the face.
A crowd, you say? Would they have been official looking?
It was the council.
3 or 4 of them, yeah.
Yeah. Was one of them a very catty woman?
Fraidy catty.
Mm-hmm. Not the first time she showed up at my medical office, and not the last. I'm very sure of that. But...
a bit of a warrior.
She's never been dressed down the way I dressed her down. I don't think she cared for it, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn.
When much cared.
But, anyway, okay. So that takes care of that. Perhaps you might want to meet up with Captain Marilyn, or Tane and Quentin. I have a lot of work here to do. For now, you can let them know that Nain is in cryosleep, and the spread of whatever is on him is currently slowed. We're working on fixing this.
Okay.
And then she's gonna turn and go back to work.
All right.
Because she has long sleepless nights ahead of her.
Luckily, she has a staff that help, though.
Yeah, you think she's still not gonna not sleep?
Of course. Tane, Quentin,
Me.
What are you guys doing in all of this?
I mean, we were told to go over and check with the map people, right?
Yeah, your scout teams. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 I think this is such a dumb side thing. I think Tane would hold Quentin's hand on the way over because it's the first time they haven't been under cameras the whole time.
That's true.
So What's up, everyone? I just dropped my entire ass tablet on the floor by trying to pull the desk out enough that I could not die and get my leg squished in it. So that's happening to me. That's my life right now.
Well, I guess this is me now.
Oh, Atlas, you are valid as fuck.
I'm a fucking idiot is what I am. Good thing they make these tablets tough. But yeah, and I'm just like heading over to those guys about what's going on with the maps of the world.
Atlas, I'm surprised that you've never put a globe up on your tablet and held it over your shoulder.
What? Oh, hey, wait.
Like, let me just do this.
Makes a dumb joke with the resources available to me to make the
There
dumb
you go.
joke.
You have the whole world over your shoulder. All right.
Yeah.
You meet up with the crew. They're like basically the space equivalent of like the Rough Riders. They are.
Fuck yeah.
They're basically space rangers. They're wearing hard gear that would, survive a tumble. A couple of them have automatic rifles. And there's one guy that's got, it's in two pieces, but you can see that it's the long barrel that fits onto the actual rifle itself, so you can set up and make a long range shot if you needed to.
Tane is discernibly in charge of these people, but he is so fucking like, these are the coolest people Tane knows. Like,
oh yeah, and when you walk over, their reception of you is the Brotherhood.
Fuck yeah!
And immediately, that's they clap you on the back. It's glad to have you back.
Them's my man.
There's the two guys that you kind of have a rivalry going with because of course Tane is a rugby guy, so he goes for the All Blacks, right? There's one guy from Johannesburg, and he is a Springbok guy, and he completely, as soon as he sees you, he nods at you. He doesn't say a whole lot, but the one other guy there is who's always talking about, yeah, the only problem with yours is that you're from a little island. That's what's wrong with you. It's a lot of inbreeding there.
That might explain why he's 6'7".
That's the reason he's so goddamn tall. There's not a lot of branching out there. So it's all good ribbing, but he's the one that you kind of left in charge. And as he walks over, and he's like, he plays to the stereotype a bit, but you think he does it just for the glamour, as he has on one of the hats with the side of it folded up,
Fuck yeah!
He was jokingly telling you over one of the meals that he would have brought a boomerang with him, but they wouldn't let him. He's like, truth is, I don't even know how to throw the goddamn thing. But might as well look the part. So, you find any aliens to go fucking about with him?
Actually, we did. Your mom was on the other planet.
Yeah, since she ran out when I was so young, I was kind of wondering where the bitch got off to. Good to know she's still telling tricks.
Yeah, apparently getting off to 6 20 feet tall. What the fuck's? But yeah, we did find aliens, if that's what you're asking. How about you lot? You find anything good? I have a British accent now, apparently.
I know I'm Tane. Hello. Get into character.
I'm Tane's estranged brother, Sane. I live in the...
Stop it. Let's see. More plants, more trees, big fuck all crystals that fell from the sky, carved up the buildings. If you look over there, you can see like ice shards that just fell from the sky.
Like hell, seriously, and not just hail either, just like straight up shards. That's some nasty damage.
You watch as one of the guys walks over and he's like, I can't stand to listen to you two talk anymore. They break down and give you the report of what they've got. They've mapped out an area that's extensive out to 10 miles in all directions. A perimeter has now been expanded to that. They've seen small life forms, all of them unknown to them, but they seem to be, they have some similarities. They have seen predator, traces of predators around. And
who hasn't seen Predator? It's a great movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie. But they go on to run down the full report, and they actually have their maps out, and they're showing you the areas that they've mapped out using the drone and everything else like that. It's pretty extensive. It's a very thick wood that leads into very rugged.
Have a great time.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I am
Can you hear
back.
us?
Yeah.
Are we back? Are we all back? All right, everybody good?
Still missing Jason, but
Yeah. He's having Discord problems as well. That's okay though, because we are actually going to wrap early. I would like to say that with you guys looking through the maps, Nara and her team working on the illness that is affecting Nain, we have everybody back planet side. The party is all back together again.
Yay.
I hate to call it early, but I didn't want to break into the next section until I kind of had, at least the majority of the party here. Missing the captain is kind of one of the key parts. So I do want to thank everybody, Atlas, Maddie, Jason, and V, for coming along with me on this journey. The next leg of this will be next week, unless we change anything. But there might be some changes coming to the game itself in regards to rules and things like that. We'll see. I'll make that decision and let everybody here know. We want to thank anybody and everybody who is watching tonight. We appreciate you being here. And stay tuned for more next Monday. We will be back again with Foundations of Adelar, which if you missed last Monday's session, you missed a really wild ride. It was super interesting and a lot that happened. And then again, we'll be back next Wednesday with more Alone in the Void. Nain is actually going to be taking a back seat for a bit. He has some real world stuff that came up, and we wish him all the best while he goes through a schedule change and everything else that's going on with him right now. Unfortunately, Jack was not with us tonight. She's not feeling well, so we wish her a speedy recovery and hope she gets to feeling better soon. But I do want to thank all of you. This coming weekend, this coming weekend we will be once again. If you're in the Huntsville area, we'd love to have you. we're running Dungeons and Dragons 5th Edition for Adventure Night, and that's at Lucky Dice Cafe on South Memorial. You can give them a call or find them on Facebook. And then again on the 3rd and 4th of November, I will be running games as well as a panel at NerdCon. And that is at the downtown Huntsville Library. And then on the following weekend, the 9th, 10th, and the 11th, I will be running a massive amount of Dungeons and Dragons for the Magic the Gathering crossover event, where we'll be bringing in the Realms of Ravnica to D&D. And I am running several different events there for that. So if you are interested in playing D&D, you're in the Huntsville area, please stop by Lucky Dice Cafe and come play with us. We would love to have you. I am there every Sunday from 3 to 6 running the Adventure League. So again, we can always use that. For those of you who play Adventure League, we are at Tier 1. So that means we are 1st through 4th level. Other than that, I would love to say again that we really appreciate everybody who is here to view, and we love having you here. Until next week, take care of yourselves. We'll see you then. We love you.